With great love and respect, I welcome Father Tinju to this program.
Thank you very much for introducing me, and thank you very much for giving me an opportunity like this. I'm always pleased to be with you because I am an alumni of SB College, of course, and it's always a pleasure to be with the community of SB College. So I think we shall start with the session. Can we?
Okay.
Okay. So as I understand, this webinar mostly consists of students, degree students, PG students, and research scholars including, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Shall I share my screen?
Of course.
No, can you share?
Yes, Father, it is visible.
Yo, okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is visible.
Okay. Let me. I was just checking. Just a minute. Yeah. Unethical practices in academic writing. It's actually a very relevant subject. When Joy sir approached me, he told me to take you a session on ethical practice. He asked me why we can talk about ethical practices in academic writing. That is a question actually, because what is ethical practice in academic writing? Ethical practice in academic writing, we are just genuinely writing something, an assignment or PhD or something. But in this realm, there can a lot of discrepancies can happen. That's why we are focusing on unethical practices. So even if we are writing ethically, there can happen discrepancies. That is why we focus on this unethical practices. There are certain type of unethical practices. First one is plagiarism, second one is fabrication, and third one is falsification. There is a fourth one that is also an unethical practice, but I don't know whether we can include it in this realm, include it in this particular realm, because it is purchasing of PhD thesis and assignments and all. You may be at least some of you may be aware of this, that we are purchasing for. There are a lot of firms available in online and offline. We can approach them and they will provide us with. We can give money and they will provide us with dissertations, including PhD thesis and PG dissertations, even articles. They will help us to publish articles. There are a lot of firms like that. I'm not going to talk about that in general, but we are focusing on these three, especially plagiarism. First, we shall see what is fabrication and falsification. The fabrication means it means providing a fabricated data. That's writing about a software. I mean, see, we are conducting a lot of surveys and all. Aren't we? We are for the purpose of assignment, for the purpose of PhD thesis and PG thesis or MPhil thesis, we are conducting a lot of surveys. Fabrication means we are not going to conduct any survey. We are not at all going out to conduct any survey. Instead, what we do, we fabricate data. So we need to collect the data of 100 people. So we ourselves sitting in front of the computer, and we are entering randomly the data. That's called fabrication. And next one is falsification. It is altering the result. See, we have gone to the people and collected the data and came back. And when we calculate, when we analyze it, we come to know that it is not as per our hypothesis. So what we do, we make some alterations in the data and make it convenient to our conclusion. So that is called falsification. I hope you got it. What is the difference between these two? Are you comfortable with the language? I hope. Or should I shift?
Yes.
Should I shift, or I shall continue talking in this space? I mean, in English or Malayalam, I can do both. That's why. Should I shift to Malayalam, or are you comfortable with this one?
We are comfortable.
Okay, then we will continue. See, this is the difference between fabrication and falsification. And coming to plagiarism. Plagiarism is a major issue. We commit, in most of the cases, we commit plagiarism because we do not know what is actually plagiarism is. There was a case, the former Kerala Pro VC, he was accused of plagiarism of his PhD thesis. So a committee was formed to investigate this issue. They investigated it, and they found that there was a lot of plagiarized content in his thesis. See, as a conclusion, one of the committee members commented that he did this plagiarism because he was not aware of what actually it is. See, he's talking about a pro VC of a university. Even that person did not know. He unknowingly committed this plagiarism. So many of us are committing plagiarism, but we do not know. It is not just limited to academic realm. It is everywhere in all areas. We can find this type of plagiarism or a kind of copyright infringement and all. So we need to understand what actually plagiarism is. So as a definition, plagiarism is an act of taking someone else's ideas, words, research, or other intellectual or artistic work and presenting them as if they were your own. See, you can see in this screen, I have given a definition. I have taken it from someone else. You can see at the bottom of it, I have given the citation also, from where I have taken it. I think you can see that, isn't it? Can you? Hope you can see that.
Yes, Father.
This is actually an ideal class. This is what we are thinking about. In your class, if the teachers are present, you can never imagine a live class like this. So in the class, you will be throwing the chalks or tests of telling that keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. Here you do not know, you do not want to do anything else. Just all are keeping quiet. And if you want to speak, we need to bark at them. That is a problem here. Okay, I think you all are hearing me. I'm audible. You are getting what I'm telling. I hope.
Yes, Father. Yes, Father.
Okay. If you have anything, you can comment on the chat box so that I can see some responses, of course. Okay, we are moving forward. In simple terms, plagiarism is using another person's words, ideas, without giving credit either by accident or with intent. See, this is using another person's words or ideas. Anything that is the property of an intellect of another person, if you are using it, we need to give credit to that person. If we are not giving credit to that particular person either by accident or by intent, I mean, that means unknowingly or knowingly, if you are not giving credit to that particular person, it is called plagiarism. So whatever we are taking, whether it can be a word, a phrase, or a diagram, or a picture, or the line of a poem, or anything else, whatever be an intellectual property of another person, if you are taking it without giving credit to that person, it is called plagiarism in the actual sense. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. See, this is a troll recently released. That means at noon, it was released at noon. It was created by one of the teachers here. He was reading the assignments of the students online today in the morning, and having read that, he wanted to create a troll like this and post it on his. He posted it on his wall, even status, WhatsApp status. I asked him and got it. So this is a problem. We are copying a lot of content from here and there and just producing it, even without changing the footnote number or the hyperlink. Like if you are copying it from Wikipedia and all, they have given the footnote number and all. Some are simply copying and pasting it without even changing that. There would be hyperlinks including. So that even we are not bothered to change. That is clear act of plagiarism. So it is everywhere, including our simple assignments to what we call PhD thesis and all. So that is the situation here. So we need to know which are the type of plagiarism. Then only we will be able to avoid it. I have already mentioned in the beginning that we are unaware of the types of plagiarism. That's why we are committing it in most of the cases. There are intentional plagiarism commitments, but in most of the cases we are committing plagiarism because we do not know what are these plagiaristic elements and all. First one I would say of direct plagiarism. See, what is direct plagiarism or clone plagiarism? We know what is clone. The exact copy of something is called clone, isn't it? The exact copy of something. So it is a word-to-word copy of someone else's work without acknowledgement. See, if you are copying something from, an example is given here. See, that underline, in the first box we have given the source, and the second box we have given the copy. The underlined sentences are such taken from the source and pasted it into our assignments or thesis. This is copy or clone plagiarism. So without giving credit, that is important. If you are quoting, we have to give credit. It is possible to quote, but we have to give the credit. That's important. This is an example of clear example of direct plagiarism or clone plagiarism. So we move on to the second example. Second is self-plagiarism or text recycling. Self-plagiarism or text recycling. It is using or reusing one's own work which is previously published without citing the original text. I hope you have got it what it is. See, for example, you are submitting a thesis or dissertation for your masters. When you come to MPhil, there also you have to submit a dissertation. So what you did, you take the dissertation which you have submitted for your master's degree and added made some minor changes in the conclusion and in the introduction and all, and submitted the same paper for the MPhil thesis. That is what is called self-plagiarism. A lot of people are doing it unknowingly. See, you might be at least some of you might be doing without knowingly. You might have submitted a project in degree level, and when you are coming to the PG level, you might be doing the same thing. You are taking the same assignment and submitting to the faculty. So it can happen. That is what is called plagiarism. This can happen in academic realm in the case of journals or journal articles. Some people may be publishing same article in different places. Then it can be called as self-plagiarism. Where publishing same articles in different journals. That is self-plagiarism without cite. Okay. So we move on to the next one. Before moving on to the next one, UGC has recently published a circular that is on 20th April 2020. That's very recently. UGC has published a circular. In that circular, it says, I have taken the screenshot of it. First, they are telling what is self-plagiarism. It says reproduction in part or whole. Reproduction in part or whole of one's own previously published work without adequate citation and proper acknowledgement, and claiming the most recent works as new and original for any academic advantages amounts to text recycling or self-plagiarism. So if you are taking, you may be telling that from my master's degree dissertation, I'm only taking the single chapter. So that is also plagiarism. If you are taking a part or if you are taking more, both are and both amounts to text recycling or self-plagiarism. So we must be very cautious about it. So then they are telling what are self-plagiarism, what this include. Republishing the same paper already published elsewhere without due and full citation. Republishing the same paper already published. You might have already published the paper, so you are republishing it with another publisher. That is self-plagiarism. Then publishing smaller accepted work from a longer and previous without due and full citation in order to show a large number of publications. So you may have a PhD thesis. So what you will be doing? you will be breaking it into different chapters. So you are taking content from each chapter and making it an article and publishing it. That is also what text recycling or self-plagiarism. So third one, reusing data already used in a published work or communicated for publication in another work without due and full citation. See, you might have conducted a survey or a research on a particular topic. So with that particular data, you can come to different conclusions. And basing on each conclusion, we can create different articles. But that data is single. That data is already published by you or you have given for publication. So you have to cite it. You have to admit that you have already used it somewhere. If you are not admitting that you have used it somewhere, each article you are making based on that particular data will be self-plagiarism. So you have to be very cautious about that. Many of us are doing that. That's why I'm telling you again. Because many of us are publishing articles based on our PhD thesis by breaking it into different parts without telling that it's already published, or I mean, without giving citation. Then last one, last but one, breaking up a longer, larger study into smaller. That's why I already said. Then last one, paraphrasing one's own previously published work without due and full citation of the original. Paraphrasing, we will see what is paraphrasing at the end of this session. But before that, if you are taking the idea and presenting it, if you are taking an idea of a previously published one that may be written by ourselves, then taking that and converting it into another type of framework and we are publishing it. That is called paraphrasing one's own previously published work without due and full citation of the original. That is also what is called self-plagiarism. So we move on to the another one, Mosaic plagiarism. See, Mosaic plagiarism means it's similar to quotation, direct plagiarism. In direct plagiarism, what we are doing, we are taking the exact copy of something and pasting it as our own. Exact copy, we are taking exact copy and making it our own. In Mosaic plagiarism, what we are doing actually, we are taking the exact copy of a particular portion of an article or a thesis or any other content, and we are making changes in it. We may be changing a phrase and replacing it with a synonym, or for example, instead of come, we use enter. Like that changes we are making. So we use synonyms, we make some textual changes or tense changes. It may be in past tense, we are making it present tense. So the content is the same. We are making some patchwork here and there, or we are taking some childs and replacing it with another one. But the actual structure of the sentence is the same. That is what is called mosaic plagiarism or patch writing. An example of it you can see here. See, this is the source text. First one is the source text. From that source text, this patchworking means they are taking first sentence and the last sentence and combining it and presenting it as such in the writing. That is what is called plagiarism in mosaic plagiarism or patch writing. So we must be very cautious. Many of the people are committing this patch writing, even in our assignments itself. Many of us are committing patch writing, so mosaic plagiarism. So we must be very cautious of it, and we must be able to avoid it too. So I'm moving on to the next one. That is accidental plagiarism. Accidental plagiarism means unknowingly we are committing some plagiarism. That is what is called accidental plagiarism. See, if one is not careful enough, plagiarism can happen unintentionally. It can happen mainly in three ways. First one, accidentally failing to credit your source correctly. So we may be writing a dissertation or an article. So we will go on writing. We will forget to cite the source. We may forget to note it down from where we have taken. So we just omit it. Unknowingly we omit it. That is first one. Accidentally failing to cite your sources correctly. For not citing paraphrased information. You must be paraphrasing from another source. For example, you have seen an article and you think that, oh, it's a good one. So you took it and convert it into your own words. See, then you think that, oh, it's my word. I'm not exactly copying from that particular one. So it's my word. It's my wording. So what you will do? You will omit citing that particular person, that particular source. That is also what plagiarism, accidental plagiarism. Unknowingly, we are committing plagiarism. Then incorrectly paraphrasing. Incorrectly paraphrasing means you saw a particular portion you wanted to include it in your dissertation or in your article, but you try to alter the meaning of that one and write the just opposite of what you have read in that particular source and give the citation of that particular source. That is what is called incorrectly paraphrasing. The correct source is that you are making the alterations in that particular source and producing it in your article, but you are giving credit to that person. That is called the incorrectly paraphrasing. That is also accidental plagiarism. That comes under accidental plagiarism. So coming to the next one, this is just a comprehensive view of many of these we have already discussed. Clone plagiarism we have already discussed. Contains significant portions. That's also we have discussed. Find replace. Find replace. You must know. So as I have said in Mosaic Plagiarism, we are we are replacing some words with their synonyms in the what we call. Many of you might have seen the 3 Idiots, haven't you? In that film, the hero is taking the speech of that particular person, the villain, and entering it in the computer and finding some words and replacing it with the negative words. So when he is producing it in the podium, everybody laughs. So that kind of thing, that find and replace. In a word itself, there is a find and replace function. You can do that easily. That is also plagiarism. Remix, paraphrasing from multiple sources. So you're paraphrasing from different sources and making it in your own words and producing it, but without citing the same. Then recycle, borrow generously from writer's previous or without citation. Hybrid, combines perfect, that we have also said. Mixed copies of material from multiple sources, that's mashup. Include citation to non-existence or inaccurate information about the source. See, we know that we need to have citations, references. So what do we say? We create some unexistent citations. So there may not be a author like that. There may not be a work like that. For the sake of creating some references, we create some authors, we create some books, and we create some publishers and simply citing without when that original is non-existent. That's what is called a 4.4 error. Then aggregator, includes proper citations to sources, but the proper contains almost no original work. Then reteach, including proper citation, but relies too closely on the text, original words, and structures. So we move on to the other one. Before that, let us have a just exercise. Let's have an exercise of the same. See, I will show you a content. You have to find it out whether which type of plagiarism it is. It's an activity. Hope you will be listening to me. Use your chat box and tell me which type of plagiarism is this. Shall we begin then? Okay. First one, read this. Sally's master's level class has similar content with a class from her bachelor's program, and the most recent assignment is extremely similar. She decides to repurpose that assignment. She changes the title page and places the assignment in the Dropbox. Which type of plagiarism is it? You may comment on the chat box. Let me have some response from you. See, she has. We have already talked about this. She has already an actual bachelor degree program assignment, and for the PG or the other course, she is reproducing it with making some similar changes in the title and all. Which type of plagiarism would it be? Okay, someone responded. Yeah, of course, it's right. Self-plagiarism. Okay, it's self-plagiarism. Then come next one. Mary has one more class in her bachelor's program, and it is the one she has been dreading the most. Her friend suggested that she buy an essay from a website like coursehero.com or something like that. She feels a little guilty, but buys her final paper anyway. So it can happen. So what type of plagiarism would it be? We have talked it in the beginning. We have talked about this in the beginning. She actually bought her assignment from an online source, giving money. What it be? Okay. Yeah, I think you got it. It's actually purchasing. It's purchasing. Next one. Bob and Peter are co-workers who began their program in organizational leadership 2 years ago. They decided they could finish their program easier if they each took different courses each time, then shared their assignments with one another when each began the opposite course. For example, leave this one. You have a So you are joining for an online course. So your friend also want to join for another online course. So you get only one certificate for which you are attending. So you need to get two certificates. How can they? You both come into an agreement and you say that I will do this online course and share my assignments with you, so that you can also submit the same and get the certificate. So it's a contract. They are doing it in a shared basis. What it would be? What type of plagiarism it would be? Yeah, some of you have already answered. That's sharing the works. It's correct. Now, coming to the next one. Tommy doesn't want his essay to exactly match the information from his textbook. So he uses thesaurus to change a few words with synonyms. He also recognizes some sentences. This is the same what I have said about the film 3 Idiots. What it would be. What it would be. I hope you got it. See, a person takes an assignment and replaces it with some similar synonyms. Use a thesaurus to look for the synonym of each word, some words, and replace it with that synonym. What it would be. What it would be. No responses there.
Find and replace.
Pardon. Somebody has said something. What type of plagiarism it would be? See, he doesn't want his essay to exactly match the information on his textbook. So he uses thesaurus to change a few words. He replaces.
Find and replace.
Find and replace. So why you are not responding? Like it's the most easiest one. It's find and replace. Okay. Then Tina is running out of time to submit her final paper. To save time, she takes a paragraph from a medical website to provide background information on her topic and paste it into her introduction. She told herself she would go back to paraphrase the information, she would copy it, but forgot. So this is an unintentional type of plagiarism. Actually, what it would be. She has already cited it, what it would be. Tina is running out of time to submit her final paper. To save time, she takes a paragraph from a medical website to provide background information on her topic and paste it in her introduction. She told herself she would go back to paraphrase the information, she would copy it, but forgot to paraphrase it. She took the exact thing, what it would be. What type of plagiarism it would be? Okay, copy paste. Some of replied as copy paste. That's good. It's right. She forgot to paraphrase. Instead, what did she do? She exactly copied that thing. That is copy paste. So, after working for months on her dissertation, Louise realizes she has forgotten to include a citation for a direct quote. She has quoted something directly, made a clone. Then she forgot to include that citation, but cannot locate the article she used. It happens in many of the cases when we are going on writing, we forgot to cite some sources, and when we are going back and looking at it, you won't be able to find it. It happens in the case of research scholars and all. Then to save time, she chooses an article from her stack or research and inserts a citation for that author with the code. She creates another, she replaces the original citation with the wrong citation. What it would be then? What it would be then?
Improper citation.
I can, I'm asking because I can see that chat box, that's why. Many of, what it would be, let me check the chat box. Improper citing, yeah, it's true, improper citing. Where is that? Okay, improper citing. So, we have made everything right. So, we shall move on to the next one. So, we are talking about types of plagiarism, and we shall go back to this one. consequences of plagiarism. See, I have said plagiarism is everywhere. It's everywhere. In every realm, we can find plagiarism. But we are more specifically focusing on academic realm, or what is the consequences of if we are plagiarizing in the academic articles, academic pieces, academic research. It's everywhere. You might have, I don't know whether you have noticed it or not. In 2013, I think, in CNR Rao, you must have heard about CNR Rao. He was scientific advisor to the Prime Minister in 2 terms. He was accused of plagiarism. Because that famous person was accused of plagiarism. That was in the academic realm. And in another case, in the political realm also, we can see plagiarisms. In 2012, one of the ministers of Angela Merkel, German government's ministers was accused of plagiarism. And she had to step on from her current office of the educational minister. She was the educational minister, and in 2012, somebody found that a doctoral dissertation that was submitted in 1980s by her. It was published in 1980s by her, and in 2012, when she became the educational minister, somebody found that there was some plagiarized content in her PhD thesis that was written almost 30 years before, and she had to step down from her current office. In the same government, in 2011, the defense minister of Germany had to step down from his office because of due to the same reasons. He also committed plagiarism for his PhD thesis. There are a lot of examples we can say. There are people who copy lyrics and use it in their own songs and all. From an American man had to pay $400 billion as a compensation for copying a lyrics from a particular person, using it there on songs and all. And in India also there was a controversy regarding that. I don't know whether you have watched the film Life of Pi. It was in 2013, I think. Life of Pi was released. It was a book written by Anne Martel, and it was filmed. And in that Life of Pi, there was an introduction song. That was a lullaby. It was written, composed, and sung by Bombay Jayashree. I don't know whether you remember it or not. It was written, composed, and sung by Bombay Jayashree, and she was nominated for Oscars. She was nominated for Oscars. But there was an accusation that 8 lines of Idaiman Thambi's lullaby was taken and translated to Tamil, and she used it in her song. There was an accusation at that time regarding this, and the Idaiman Thambi Smaraka Trust in Cherthala had gone for a legal plea and all. There was a very popular controversy. It was a very popular controversy at that time. I don't know whether at least some of you might be remembering it. So, what is the consequence of academic plagiarism? University Grants Commission in 2018 has given a regulation regarding the promotion of academic integrity and prevention of plagiarism in higher education institutions. In 2018, it was published. As per this regulation, it is applicable to students, faculty, researchers, and staff of higher education institutions in India. So this regulation is now applicable to students, faculty, researchers, and staff of all higher education institutions in India. And it says that every higher education institution should establish the mechanism as prescribed in these regulations to enhance awareness about responsible conduct of research and academic activities, to promote academic integrity, and to prevent plagiarism. So this webinar is a part of this regulation. So it says that we must make the students aware of these type of things. Regarding the CNR Rao case, the CNR Rao given an explanation that it was unknowingly happened. He was not aware of plagiaristic conduct. So even that he was an awardee of Bharat Ratna. Even that person didn't know what is actually plagiarism is. So it can happen to anyone. So what is the penalties if we commit plagiarism in a PhD thesis? If a PhD thesis consists of only 10% of plagiarized content, there won't be any penalty. It can be bearable, tolerable. it is considered as tolerable. Up to 10% of plagiarism can be tolerable. So this is not only in the case of PhD thesis, for MPhil thesis and PG dissertation. It starts from PG dissertation to PhD and postdoctoral dissertations. So the degree level students may be thinking that we are escaped from this. No. See, the problem is that if anything has recorded as ours, anybody can access to that. And when we are even after, see, in the case of that German minister, she was accused of plagiarism after almost 13 or 14 years, because it was already published and it was a record. You see, if you are writing a project in your bachelor's time, you are giving it to a copy is given to the college library. At least in your department library, it would be kept, isn't it? Even after 40 or 50 or 100 years, a person can come and look onto that and can analyze it and find plagiaristic content in that. So what happens? You must have written at the title page of it, it's a partial fulfillment of my bachelor's degree, isn't it? So it is a partial fulfillment. If that partial fulfillment is falsified, how can your degree be valid? And if your degree is not valid, how can your MPhil be valid, PG be valid, PhD be valid? So all the other steps will be broken. So you must be very cautious at the time of writing this PG level project itself. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Everybody must be cautious of it. So from PG level onwards, if we have got 10% of plagiarized content in our paper, so it is tolerable. But similarly, if it is between 10 to 40%, such students shall be asked to submit a revised script within a stipulated time period of not exceeding 6 months. Though if it is up to 40%, between 10 to 40%, that scholar will be asked to resubmit it, revise it and resubmit it within not exceeding 6 months. So if it is between 40 to 60%, if your MPhil thesis or PG thesis consists of 40 to 60% plagiarized content, such student shall be debarred from submitting a revised script for a period of 1 year. For the coming full year, he or she won't be able to submit the thesis. She will have to wait for 1 year. He will be debarred. She or he will be debarred from that. So if it is above 60%, what will happen? Such student registration for the program shall be cancelled. That program, the registration for that entire is a PG or a MPhil or a PhD or a postdoctoral, anything that program will be cancelled. That is what the regulation of UGC says from 2018 onwards. So it is in the case of our degree level, I mean PG to higher level dissertations or theses. In the case of articles, if you are plagiarizing in articles, if it is 10%, it's bearable. Similarity between 10 to 14, he or she shall be asked to withdraw the manuscript that is given to the publishers. Then, if it is similarity between 40 to 6%, the manuscript has to be withdrawn, denied the right to 1 annual increment. If he is a government employee, he or she will be denied the right to 1 annual increment and shall not be allowed to supervise any new master's MPhil if you are a reader. If you are a guide, a master's degree guide or a MPhil guide or PhD guide, he or she will not be allowed to supervise any new master's MPhil or PhD students or scholar for a period of 2 years. So it is a case if your article contains 40 to 60% of a plagiarized content. This is applicable to each and every one of us. If you have published articles which contains this type of plagiarized content, anybody can go and check it and comes with a petition. അതായത് പണി തരാനായിട്ട് എളുപ്പമാണ് ആളുകൾക്ക്, നമുക്കിട്ട് പണി തരാൻ എളുപ്പമാണ് ഈ ഒരു സംഭവം വെച്ച്. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് വെരി വെരി ക്രൂഷ്യൽ. And if the similarity above 60%, if the plagiarized content is above 60%, he shall be asked to withdraw the manuscript. Two annual increments will be denied. Then shall not be allowed to be supervisor to any master's, MPhil, PhD student or scholar for a period of 3 years. That is a penalty prescribed by the UGC for a plagiarism. So let us move to the next one. Now, how can we avoid plagiarism? How can we avoid plagiarism? That is what we are going to see in the coming months. First one, understand plagiarism. What is plagiarism and what is not? That is very important. Understand plagiarism. What is plagiarism and what is not? So I think we can go for a simple activity regarding that. Can you read this? Can you see this? Is it visible? Is it visible on the screen? Please give some.
Not clear.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes. If you can read, take the first one. A student uses an internet article in researching her paper. Then she finds several of the ideas in the article useful and develops them in her own paper. She does not quote from the text. She does not cite it in the paper, but she does put the reference in the bibliography. Will this be plagiarism? What do you say? Will this be plagiarism? You are taking an internet article, find several ideas in that internet article useful, and develops them in your own paper. Since does not quote from the text or does not cite it in the paper, but she does include it in the bibliography. What is bibliography? Does anyone know what is bibliography? What is difference between bibliography and reference? Does anyone know? See, bibliography means for the research purpose, we read a lot of stuff, aren't we? We read a lot of books, a lot of articles, and a lot of materials we read. I mean, journal articles, many things we read. But we may not be taking paragraphs or ideas from each and every one of them. We may be taking only from some of them. But we can include everything we have covered in our bibliography. That is what is called bibliography. But in reference list, we can include only those sources from where we have borrowed ideas or words. That is the difference between bibliography and reference. So this says that she does not cite in her paper, she does not include it in her reference, but include it in her bibliography. Will this be plagiarism? What do you think? Will this be plagiarism?
Yes.
Yes, it is plagiarism. It's clear plagiarism. So we move on to the second one. In researching a paper on Mary Kingsley, a student discovers that Kingsley was born in I can read that one. No, leave it. See, instead of this, you think of this. In researching your paper on Mahatma Gandhi, you come to know that Mahatma Gandhi was born in 1816. Okay, should you cite that source from where you have taken this? Should you cite that source from where you have taken this? What do you say? What do you say? If you are not citing that particular, if you are writing in your paper that Gandhi was born in 1869, you are not citing it. Will this be plagiarism? What do you think? Give some comments at least. What do you think? No. Why it is? Why it is no? Because I shall say there are certain kind of facts that are called common knowledge. Common knowledge we need not cite. It's known by everyone. That is common knowledge. So like sun rises in the east, or India got independence in 1947. These are common knowledge. So we need not cite the common knowledge. So this Gandhi was born in 1869 amounts to common knowledge. So we need not cite them. If you are not citing it, it won't be plagiarism also. Third one, you are taking a class that a friend has already taken. Your friend has already taken a class. Since she lets you read her paper in order to get some ideas and tells you to use any part of the paper you find useful, you incorporate some of her paragraphs into your own paper without citation. Will that be plagiarism?
No.
Will that be plagiarism? one of you have said that it's plagiarism. Is it? Your friend has already verbally accepted you to use that or allowed you to use that, and you used that idea in your own paper.
It is
Will that be?
It's plagiarism.
Will that be plagiarism?
No.
It's plagiarism. It's plagiarism. See, you are taking a class that a friend already taken. Friend has already taken a class, and it may be recorded, or the note she might have made a lecture note, and it has been given to the students. So it's already a record. It's already a record. Legally, if you're telling it's plagiarism, mere verbal agreement won't work in legal realms. Mere verbal agreement won't work in legal realms. So it's better that to avoid plagiarism and avoid accusations, legally, you have to cite that source. So if you're not citing it, legally, it is plagiarism. Next one. A friend offers to let you read his paper in order to get some ideas and lets you use any part of the paper you find useful. You incorporate one of his paragraphs into your paper, and you are careful to include all the citations from his paper in your footnotes so that the reader will be able to find the original source of the information. So it is a bit similar to the previous one. It's a bit similar to the previous one. What do you think? What do you think? A friend has already allowed his paper to allowed you to take his paper with all the citations you have included in it, and you have exactly copied the same thing from him. Will this be plagiarism? Will this be plagiarism? What do you think? Give me some response at least in chat box. Will that be plagiarism? Your friend has published a paper. He or she has allowed you to use it in your own paper, and you exactly copy that and use it in your own paper with all the citations he had given. Will that be plagiarism? Yes, it is. It is plagiarism because it's already a published paper. As I have already said, mere verbal agreement won't work in legal realm. So it has to be acknowledged. You have to acknowledge that as that of the other person. Next. A student finds a picture on the web that perfectly illustrates a point she wants to make her paper. She downloads that picture, but does not use the website's analysis. In addition, she writes her own caption for the picture. Since the analysis and caption are her own, she does not include a citation for the picture. You found a picture in a website. So if you are a student of an art, you can make many interpretations based on that particular art. So many interpretations, or a particular interpretation is given in that particular website, but you are not taking that interpretation. You take that picture instead and paste it in your own paper and give a different title than that of the website and give a different analysis. Will that be plagiarism? What do you say? Will that be plagiarism? It can be in either way. See, as I have said about common knowledge, if it is the painting of a Mona Lisa, it's a very common. So we can take it and give it your own interpretation. But if it is a diagram, see, if somebody has collected data, and that data is presented in the form of a diagram or as a table or something else, you are taking that data and giving another interpretation based on another conclusion based on that data. In that case, it is plagiarism because that data is collected and presented by someone else. It's not yours. But if it is a common knowledge, like the picture of Mahatma Gandhi, or picture of Mona Lisa, or picture of Van Gogh, and you are making an interpretation, it's okay. But if it is a intellectual work of another person, like a chart or a box or a diagram that depicts content or collected data, and you are interpreting, then you have to give credit to that person. Okay, I think due to the problem of time, we shall move forward. See, I think you can see this website. See, this is a website from I have taken this practice, you can go to this website and practice by your own. When we are reading through this, we will be about to know that we will be confused in many places whether it is plagiarism or not. So that is good that you get confused. Its answer is given at the bottom of it, so you can get the answer as well as the question from this particular website. Hope you have got it. discover.trinity.dc.edu. Policies plagiarism. So okay, if anybody wants, I can give you the I can paste it in the tab box. You can take it from there. Okay. Now we move on to the next one. Second one is quote and cite the source. Second one, how to avoid plagiarism. We are telling about how to avoid plagiarism. First one is to understand plagiarism. What is plagiarism and what is not? That is very important. That is what we are seeing so far. And we move on to the second one, how to avoid plagiarism. Second one is to quote and cite the source. Quote and cite the source. How to quote and how to cite the source. So that we will discuss in the coming session regarding the APA style manual, and where we will discuss in detail how to quote and how to give citation to quotation and all. So the third one is paraphrasing. Sorry, I've paraphrase and cite the source. So I have already told you at the beginning that I shall tell you about paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is presenting ideas and information in your own words and acknowledging where they come from. You have we naturally do that. You have seen a film, and your friend asks, "How is the film?" You give an overview of that film, won't you? Even the story, how it is presented in your own words. In your own words. That is what is called paraphrase. You read an article, you read a paragraph, and you read some stuff on the internet, and you get the idea of it, and you present that idea in your own words. In your own words, you are presenting that idea. It is no way similar to the original source. It is in no way similar to the original source, but you are presenting that idea in your own words. That is what is called the paraphrasing. But if you are paraphrasing also, what you have to do, you have to acknowledge, you have to cite from where you have taken that particular idea. Otherwise, it would be plagiarism. So 5 steps involved in paraphrasing. How you can paraphrase a source? First, read the original text until you understand it. Read until you understand it. You may need to read 10 times or 15 times. Read it and understand what the original author had said in that paragraph. And second way, note down the key concepts. Note in your own way the key concepts. Third one, write down your version of that text without looking at the original. You read it, noted down certain points, close that book or article, then you recollect and write in your own words. You have to recollect in your own words. Then compare your paraphrased text with the original one, whether any words or sentence structure comes similar. If any words or sentence structure comes similar, which type of plagiarism it would be? Which type of plagiarism it would be? It would be like the Mosaic plagiarism, because we are replacing some words and ideas from here and there. So in order to avoid that, first you read and understand the text, then note down the key concepts, then close the text and write down it in your own words, and then again go and check with the original one whether any sentence structure or any word is similar to the original source. Then make sure that you have included the citation also. Okay. This is an example of a wrong paraphrasing. It's an example of wrong paraphrasing. See, in the first sentence, read the first sentence. The top one is the original, second one is incorrect paraphrasing. First sentence is a research on cyberbullying has been conducted largely in the absence of the theory. So how he has that particular person has paraphrased. Instead of research, he or she used study. Then instead of absence, he replaced it with the lack of theory. Absence of theory has become lack of theory. Then what did he or she do? He just omitted the second. He just omitted the second one. And took the third sentence from the original source and made it his second sentence. And he replaced the second sentence of the original text with the third sentence. That is what he did. And he has in every sentence he had made some. See, moreover has been replaced with furthermore, behavior has been replaced with manners, and inherent need has been replaced with the essential need. That is what is called the wrong paraphrasing, and it is an example of what plagiarism? Mosaic plagiarism. So that is wrong paraphrasing. And I wanted to give you an exercise regarding what is right paraphrasing. I think if it is time, we'll see one. We will see one example of right paraphrasing. Otherwise, it won't be complete. That's why. See, this is an example of you read the first sentence. In psychology, an understanding of the methods psychologists use is important because research can be flawed, and knowing how research should be done can bring those flaws to light. So they have given 3 types of paraphrasing. Which one would be the right paraphrasing? What do you say? In psychology, an understanding of the methods psychologists use is important. But what does that sentence say? It says that we need to understand the methods so that even if the research flows, we can understand what the flows of that research, because we know the methods of it. Since we know the methods of this, we can know the weaknesses of the research. So what would be the right paraphrasing from these 3? Susan, Timothy, and Jordan. 3 of them have a paraphrasing. Which would be the right paraphrasing? Could you please reply me in chat box? Could you please reply me in chat box? Please. Any of you? Jordan has given the right paraphrasing. Okay, that is correct. So there are 5 more examples. So I think it is 3:30. So we skip and go on to the next one. I shall just give you the link of that so that you can go and search do it by yourself. I have pasted it in the chat box. The link has been pasted in the chat box. So, exercise. Third one is summarize and cite the source. What is summarize? A summary is a shortened version of a larger reading. In your summary, you state the main ideas in your own words, but specific examples and details are left out. See, what is the difference between paraphrasing and summary? Summary is also in a sense paraphrasing, but paraphrasing means copying an exact, taking the idea in full from a paragraph or an article. Summarizing means we are taking the abstract of an entire article or an entire content. We are just taking only the main points. We are taking only the abstract of it, only the essence of it, and producing it in our own words. But we have to cite the source also. When we use summary, when a passage from a source is too long to quote or paraphrase, when only the main ideas of the source are relevant to our paper, when the details in the text might distract, overwhelm, or confuse the readers. See, when a passage is too long to paraphrase, then what will you do? You summarize it. You will take the main points and give it in your own words. Then, when only the main ideas of the source are relevant to your paper, only some ideas are relevant to your paper, so you take only that, only the summary of that. Then you take this. When the details and there may be a lot of examples. The main idea may be backed up with a lot of examples or a statistical data. You omit all those things. Only you take the main idea and rephrase it in your own words. That is what is called a summary. Now to summary. First one, start by reading the text and highlighting the main points as you read. Then, reread the text and make note of the main points, leaving out examples, evidences, etc. There, without the text, rewrite your notes in your own words. We are following exactly more or less the same step as in the case of a paraphrasing. And then include an index citation that we will see in the next session. In the format of it. So that's APA, etc. And I'd love cite this. What do you mean by citing the source? I'm concluding this session with this particular one because in the next session, what we are going to see is how to cite the source. To cite a source means to be credit for the original source of information, an idea, or way of articulating an idea. It is a standardized method of acknowledging the resources used in your own research. That is what we go from the citing resources. We'll see this one in detail in the comment section. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much. Over to the organizers.
Father, is it over? Is it over?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Say thank you very much, Father. We shall meet on Monday, 2:15 p.m. Even if it is a holiday. Is it okay for you?
Yeah, okay. If it's okay for everyone, I'm also okay.
Yeah, I think it is a government holiday due to Karkadavav.
Yeah.
I think we shall start. We
It will
shall.
be available. All this will be available. It is available on the
Hello.
if all the students are available, I'm okay. All the
Okay.
participants are available, I'm okay.
Okay. Now we let us suppose that we shall meet on Monday at 2:15 p.m.
Yeah.
And
If any changes,
if any
let
change,
me know.
I will inform you. I will inform
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day.